everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a short-ish video, just giving a little update on how I've been and what's been going on, because it's been a while, which, if you have ever followed my channel for a period of time, you will know it is not uncommon for me to take long periods where I just do not upload. So, this isn't exactly unusual, but I still feel like we should check in with each other. It's been too long. What have I been up to? So first things first, I did graduate. I don't know how I passed the fucking course, if I'm going to be honest. University, for me, was a very interesting time of my life. I'm not going to get too into it because it's a whole thing. But let's just say, if you were to ask me right now if I could go back in time, would I do it all again? The answer would be no. I feel like, as grateful as I was for the course that I did, which if you don't know, I did film and media, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. But that's my own fault, and I realised that later. At that point, it was a bit too late to change courses and everything. So I kind of just had to commit. I make it sound like it was horrible. It wasn't. But it could have been better. What I mean by that is I am somebody who is very creative in terms of telling a story. I enjoy writing, which feels odd to say because I have not written a long length script or prose since I was about 15, which seems ironic, but I swear the last time that I did a large, decent size of writing was when I was about 14, 15, when I used to write fanfiction and I had daily uploads with thousands of word counts. Or even better yet, when I was in college, I was a part of the D&D group for a year before the group got a little weird. I dipped because I didn't want that in my life. But during D&D, I would write my own characters and I would go in depth on the characters and their story, and that's what I loved. Which I'll always love D&D. I love being able to do whatever you want within reason and just creating this whole story, and it's up to you. That is my favourite thing in the world. I cannot stress that enough, which is why I enjoyed so much being able to create my own character and the backstory in this story that would happen. But obviously, when you're in a group with D&D, it's not all about you. So as much as I loved playing and getting to know everyone, despite how socially awkward I was, for a little period of an hour, a week, or whatever it was, I loved being able to be that character and socialise with everyone. But I say hated, that's a strong word. I would have preferred to have some sort of link to my character background. I know that a lot of DMs do that. It was just my personal experience of college, and we were all 16, so we're not professionals, we're all just having fun and pissing about. But it was always, this is the mission, and you are just people here completing the mission. The point I'm trying to make is that when you are a DM, your focus is on that mission and tying in the stories of that mission and making sure that every one of the characters is having a good time and enjoying themselves within the realm of that mission, as well as possibly leaving hints to your backstory here and there. But you're not going to fully flesh out each individual character's backstory and link it to the mission, because you'll have I think in my experience it was at least 6 or 7 people. It would be insanely difficult. I'm not going to deny that. So when you are in that situation and you're completing this mission, as fun as it is, it does not make sense to have the long-lost sister of my character suddenly appear in the backstory. It doesn't make any sense, and yet that's all I could think about. All I could think about was the backstory I had and some way that it could link in and that I could follow this story of my character's life. And it's insane to think that would ever happen. Like I said, if you are in it for the long haul, you know everybody, your DM has planned this and had done this before, it's a bit easier. This was my first time ever playing, mind you, and all I could focus on was how I would want my character to navigate everything. And in the way that I was seeing it, it was just going to be easier to write the story about it myself. There was no way that I could expect the people to do what I wanted. Following from that, there was a time over summer when I had the chance, as a break from our main campaign of the time, to do a little one-shot. I say one-shot, it was 2 sessions for a couple hours, and I DM'd it. I will say DM'd it because it was summer, so not everyone showed up, so it was only 3 or 4 people, including myself, that did turn up, and then it was a different set of people the next day, and only some carried over. So, no offence to them, but it wasn't the best planning in terms of having everyone together, but that's fine. And I realised with DMing, not only was I anxious as fuck, because I had no idea what I was doing, but I relied heavily on their narrative. And with D&D, people want to do their own thing. So I created this whole world with a backstory and a place that it was going to go and the future that it was going to link to. Even after the session ended, there'd be an open-ending ending so that people could be like, oh, that was so cool, I wonder what would happen. Maybe I could DM again and join that world. And it never went badly, and I take no offence to all the players that was there, because they were just doing their best and enjoying themselves. But whenever they made a decision that I didn't expect or I hadn't have planned for, which happens in D&D, oh my god, I have so much appreciation for all the DMs. I did anyway, but holy shit, this was a lot. I realised I just, again, want to be able to write my story and have it all enveloped in a little box and presented and be like, yes, this is perfect and it's exactly what I want, thank you. I can't do that in D&D. So when I wanted to create these whole plots and I had an idea of, oh, okay, they're going to go here or here, and either way, both will relate to this, I did not realise there's going to be a third option. I did not want that third option. Fuck that third option. I wonder if I still have all them papers, because I wrote so much. It was a 2-day thing, and it was literally like an hour. It was 2 hours max, and I planned a whole backstory. It could have been the opening of a book. It was so long, and none of it was understood by any of the players. The point I'm trying to make is, I like making stories. I like developing the characters and their little synopsises and the little character traits, not just, there is this person, this is their family, and they are in this situation. I love the little tiny things of knowing their favourite colours and their favourite foods. I go so in depth that every single book idea that I've ever had has a playlist on Spotify. It could be a single 1-sentence story that I thought, oh, that would be cool, and I have created a playlist for it. There is no development, there is no context behind it, just this one sentence, and I have enveloped my whole livelihood into it. Which I also feel like is ironic to say, because since I was 16, I have not written a story or a full-length paragraph or prose of anything. The most I have done is write these little ideas and synopsises. Some are more fleshed out than others. Some, as I say, are one words or a singular sentence that has made me think, oh, this could be a story. But I do not go further than that. And I have disconnected, I suppose is a good way to put it, from that side of myself. It was already happening around college, and I suppose I had that D&D side of me, where as much as I struggled to withhold all of my ideas for these stories, I still had that little creative side. I would still come up with these stories, and I was still participating in creative writing. But then university happened, and I don't think I have written any more than a paragraph in 3 years. So how can I sit here and tell you that I would do university all over again, and I would do English and work on my writing more, when I have had, I want to say, 3.5 years since I've graduated as well. So almost 4 years, perhaps, with college, and I have not written a hefty piece of writing. And since finishing university, I have delved into work. I'm trying, as one does, and I have not written still. So it's at the point where I am an adult. The only thing that I have to do now is work. I need money. Give me that money. So in theory, that time for me to mess around and play and build up my wants and my identity within writing has happened. Because when you're at school, or college, or university, you have these moments between essays where you are able to write. I mean, I could have been a best-selling author by the time I was 13. I can't say I would be able to do that now, as much as I dream to do that. If you were to ask me where I see myself in 20 years, I would tell you that I hope I could be an author, that I could go to these book signing events and people know my stories and enjoy my characters and the narratives and these journeys that they go on. And yet, how can I say that that is a want when I'm not actively striving towards it? You hear stories all the time of these authors that wrote their books and then was rejected millions of times, and it takes years to not only write and hone in on their craft, but to get it published and to get it seen by masses. I'm here and I'm not even writing, and yet I'm saying that this is my passion and my job, but I'm not doing anything to push myself towards that goal. I don't think it also helps that now that I have finished university, I feel like I have been thrust headfirst into adult life and needing to get a job, and I am back home living with my parents, university is over, so I need to get money so that I can move out and do what society wants me to do and get a family and all that bullshit. I can't do that without a job. And as I have said, I have quite bad anxiety and I get scared, I suppose is the best way I can put it. If you get it, you get it. But I'm also not afraid to admit that I am a lazy bitch. I don't want to work. I have got this temporary job for Christmas, because it is almost Christmas. How is it almost Christmas? This is my first experience working in years. I was so busy with university that I didn't do anything, and here I am, my first job since I was a teenager, and it's Christmas time, so it is a lot. And again, I feel like I was head first out of university, and straight away people are like, be an adult, go and do it, just figure it out. And I'm like, I don't know how, I don't want this life. When people say that work sucks, they mean it, especially for creatives. I still don't like referring to myself as creative, because as I say, a little bit of imposter syndrome, but not entirely false. I have not written, so again. But when you have this passion and this desire to create, or hell, even this dream or this aspiration that you know will not suffice for society and for everyday life, it sucks so bad. I have always struggled with my motivation. As you can see, there's other videos where I've talked about mental health and everything. I'm not going to get into that now, but I've always struggled with the motivation to do anything, even the things that I enjoy, and I have lost myself tremendously in that. And in a way, I suppose I told myself to get over it, and as much as it is a dream and something that I enjoy doing, it's not going to help you in the long run. So get a job, get over it, and then maybe in the future, when you're in a cemented job, you can go back to what you enjoy and what you love. I have been at this job for a couple of months now, and I cannot see myself working this way for the rest of my life. I know that it's a stereotype with all Gen Z people that we're lazy and that we don't want to work and we don't want to put in the effort. I can admit that. I am lazy. There are Gen Z out there that are not lazy. They just don't enjoy the work atmosphere right now. And I don't blame them. I am lazy and I don't enjoy the work ethic. So I have nothing pushing me through life. When I sit here and think logically, I know that even if I manage to reconnect with my creative writing roots, if I find a path that I enjoy to take, it's not going to be plain sailing for me to just commit to that. Because as I said, if you have a hobby or a career that you want that isn't going to immediately give you the money that you need and the insurance to survive, you're fucked. So even if I finish this job in the new year and I realise, okay, I enjoy writing, I'm going to write, say I write a book, that will take me however many years and however many years of no income. I need a job to have income that I can do alongside writing a book. And work is so draining that I don't think I can do that, which sucks because my alternative is to not have a job and to not have money and to not provide anything. It seems to be this endless cycle of, I want to write, but I can't solely write, so I will get a job. I have a job, and now I have no motivation to write. But I am also drained from not doing this hobby and this thing that I enjoy so much and not being able to get out my creative liberties, so I will not have a job. But now I don't have money, so I need to get a job. So no matter what happens, I'm not able to write because I need money. Does this make any sense? And even if I somehow get a job or a career that allows me to write in my spare time, which is 90% of the time, and I have money and a steady income that allows me to write for most of my time, I don't know that I can be able to do that because I have been so used to this cycle of not having motivation and needing to relax after work and being drained socially and just everything, that the moment I have time where I can write, it's as if I've forgotten how. Not to be that old person that's like, the internet is ruining your brain, but I feel like it has ruined my brain. I have been someone that is chronically online basically since I was able to go on the internet, which was when I was like 10, maybe younger, I don't know. And now I am 22 recently, which is 12 years basically non-stop of being on the internet in some capacity, and especially with how TikTok is and it's melting our brains to have such a short attention span. I feel like I can't concentrate on anything if I don't have constant stimulus, which is also ironic because I am somebody that does not like silence. It feels weird to me. I need to always have the TV on or music playing, or even if I'm doing mundane activities, walking from place to place, I need some sort of stimulus. And at the same time, that constant stimulus is so overwhelming that I feel like I also can't do anything. So it's either be overwhelmed by the silence and feel completely uncomfortable that I can't do anything, or have constant stimulus and feel overwhelmed and feel like I can't do anything. Everything I do at this point in my life just seems so overwhelming, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this all. So it's been a very tricky time these last few months. I finished and I relaxed after uni, and then I went to graduation and I got a job. And I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with my life in the long term. And the only solution I have come to is that I want to write. And in order to fulfill that wish and to at least honour it to myself of a dream that I have had for as long as I can remember, I have to do work and rewrite my brain in order to put those words and those imaginations to paper and to a full-length piece that can be published, either as a book or as a short story or as a script. As much as I felt disconnected with film and media, it's still something that I love. I love being able to look at the visual aspects of everything. I think my only issue is I am a more script-write person, and the moment I realised that was the moment I was so close to graduation, that all the courses had already been taken and signed up for, and to be fair, there wasn't that many script writing pathways anyway. It was very theory-based, the course that I was on and at the university I went to. Maybe that's just something I should have looked into. But considering university was such a last-minute decision for me anyway, again, it's just coming to bite me in the ass. So to anyone out there that is thinking of university or is like me and is socially awkward and anxious and scared of the future, take this as both a warning and a very solid older sister piece of advice. Whatever decision you make, whether it's go to university, do this specific course, go to this specific job, do this specific hobby, whatever it may be, make sure it is something you enjoy. Now, that is not to say don't go to university unless you're 100% sure. Don't do this course if you're not 1000% sure that this is going to be something you want to do for the rest of your life. You are able to try new things all the time. I completely encourage it. Be your best self, try new things all the time, and allow yourself failure. Failure is the biggest thing that I can stress in this situation. You have to allow yourself to fail. It's what comes from the failure that is the most important part. If you are on a course or doing a hobby or literally whatever it is you're doing in your life, and you fail, or there comes a pinnacle moment where you can choose and develop this idea, and you have to think to yourself, do I want to push myself and get over this hurdle and go on to be whatever it is or do whatever it is, or is this not for me? There is no shame in realising, oh, this thing I have tried for that I thought was going to rule the rest of my life is not actually as fun as I thought it would be, and I am struggling with this thing. There is no shame in saying, okay, I do not want to do this. Let me reroute my narrative and go in a different direction. It is so important for you to look at yourself and make that decision. And I know that it's hard because I have witnessed it myself and I've gone through it. It's very difficult to realise the difference between there is this moment that I'm struggling and I don't know if it's just something I need to push through and get over, and then I will realise, okay, I'm on the right path and that was a hurdle and a bump to my dream and that this is what I want. But also realise that maybe on the other hand, wow, I am really struggling. Even if I do push through this, I am going to be miserable. It's a very hard balance to work out. And I wish I could tell you tips and tricks on how to realise that, but I am no professional in the slightest, and I think it's a case-by-case basis. Even if I was to come up here and be like, this is what I noticed I had to do here, it's going to be different for everyone. What I felt and what I realised may not be the same for you and the situation you're in. It's very case-by-case. But the point I'm trying to make is there were many a time when I could have turned around and said, this is not what I want to be doing. This is not the course that I should be on. This is not quite what I thought it would be. Can I change? There were so many times that started off small and then just got bigger and snowballed into an avalanche that I should have changed and rerouted what I was doing. But I was so scared of disappointing my family or even having to admit it to friends that, hey, I went to university and then I didn't complete it, that in the end I felt it was better to just stay as I was. And I have done that, and now I sit here telling you I wish that I could go back and change what I've done, and I can't. But at the same time, I can just as easily sit here and tell you that I have made mistakes and I have committed to stuff that I no longer feel linked to or relate myself with, such as college. I ended up doing film and media because I originally wanted to do English, and they told me the other courses I picked did not align, so I had to either drop English or drop photography. And I chose to drop English and take up film and media instead. If I could do that again, I probably would have dropped photography for a multitude of reasons. And then again, in university, I could have just as easily gone on to do English at uni, and I didn't. I could have just as easily, after my first year at uni, changed courses. I could have kept the course and tried my hardest to fit in creative writing as an element and done script, which I didn't. And above all else, I could have dropped out. There is no shame in realising and allowing a course to take away bits of yourself. It is never worth it. But I cannot change any of that now. I am in the situation I'm in, and I have to try and make the best of it. So that's what I'm going to do. I never make New Year's resolutions and New Year, New Me, because it's fucking bullshit. It never lasts. That ain't me. But I am going to make one this year. And that is to just find myself a bit more, to start slow and reconnect with writing, even if it's short stories, a paragraph here and there, a few 100 words if I can, hell, even a sentence a day, and I'll be happy, because there's no way that I can sit here and be like, by next year I'm going to write a book. I need to start small. I don't have the commitment for that. There's many ideas, and I have thousands of ideas. For the past 10 years, I have wrote down every idea I have, so I think I'm going to start connecting with it a bit more. And to start on that, I have made my own blog. I started it in October. I have not since published for reasons I have just spent the past however long discussing, but it's a blog where I can write pretty much whatever I want. It's not going to be solely creative writing, though I hope you will stay for the creative writing and enjoy and be nice, because I'm probably not the best as I used to be, but I'm working on it. I'm going to do smaller stories, but I will also keep to my roots and do little gonna do blog pieces on media work and my thoughts and feelings. As I said, I started it in October, and every single day of October I gave my thoughts and feelings on different Halloween films I had not seen. So you're more than welcome to jump on over, and you have 31 days. Is that 31 days in October? Is it 30? I think it's 31. 31. 31 days of different Halloween films you are welcome to look over. And it's basically just going to be a year of me starting small, basically from scratch, as if I am back at primary school and learning how to write it all. And hopefully in the next however many years, because I am not naive enough to think that it's going to take just a year and I'll be on my shit. It's going to be a lot, especially with getting into the work sphere and the young adulthood. It's going to be a lot. I know that. But I need to connect again. Not just with writing, but with everything that I used to love, that I have shut out for far too long. So if you want to follow that journey, feel free to go over and subscribe to my blog. The link will be in the description, as will all of my social media. I'll just put it in the link tree. I created a link tree, so I'll put that there because there's a lot of links that you are able to look through on that. In terms of the YouTube channel, it'll be keeping open. If there's any longer video essays I wish to do that I cannot fit into a blog, I will put them here, as well as any other video, little updates I feel I should do. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!